Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear students, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to you all. Myself, Shafiq Ahmad Javed, one of the executive member of Parents Welfare Association of the Indian School Kingdom of Bahrain. And I'll be the host for tonight. Before we start, let me give a brief introduction about Parents Welfare Association, PWA. PWA is formed in the year 2014 by a group of parents for the welfare of the students in uplifting their for the upliftment by conducting various programs like educational and motivational programs, along with the career guidance and counseling for them. In the year 2018, it also commenced the Youth Leaders Club for enhancing the students' communication and leadership skills. Moving on to today's webinar program. COVID-19 has turned the world around to 360 degrees, irrespective of all the industries, whether it's a big corporate or small businesses or an educational institution. Everything has come to standstill and bound to perform all their activities virtually. Leaving all aside, we will spot only the educational institutions. Today, we are going to discuss on what are the challenges the students and parents facing due to this virtual program. Immediately after this virtual program has started, neither the teachers nor the students have hands-on experience to handle this. We are going to discuss today on how we are going to face the challenges and how to overcome and what are all the changing prospects on virtual learning. Besides this, there's another major issue popping up which is seriously related to health. The entire behavior of our students are changing due to the stress they are developing due to this lockdown situation. And Ms. Raja Abdullah Hejair, a clinical psychologist. In this noble service, she is there for the past 9 years. Ms. Raja provides psychological services from assistance to the treatment, educate people on cognitive behavioral therapy, currently practicing as specialist child psychologist. At the end of their presentation, we also will take few questions. May I request Ms. Raja Hejair to come up with her presentation, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Javed. Good evening, everybody. Today I'll talk to you about COVID-19 and the lockdown impact on family mental health and how we can face these challenges. We might not all catch the virus and be affected physically by it, but definitely we are affected psychologically by the lockdown resulting from it. And anxiety and anticipation might be contagious more than the virus itself. So it's very important for us to talk about how we can get through all this together in this period. I want the host to please to share the screen with me so I can share my presentation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's done.
So to overview the content of the presentation, I will talk first about the impact of the COVID-19 crisis on children's and parents' mental health, but I will just mention summarized and only little bit points about it since we are all living in it. So you know it maybe even more than me as a parent and a child who's having children. So I will just mention few points about it. Then my focus will be about how we cope as a parent and as a person with the stress and changes resulting from the COVID-19 and the lockdown. You know, I hate to bring out this example, but you remember when we were traveling and we get into the plane and then we hear the flight attendants give us the instruction, like in case if the plane falls down, how we can manage that she said that for us that you have to put the oxygen mask on your face and save yourself before saving other people. And I believe this strategy applies to this situation as well. So we have to maintain and we have this good well-being mentally before trying to help other people, including our children. I'll talk also about how we can help our children cope, how we can approach our children and talk to them about the COVID-19, and finally, messages for carers of children. This is indeed an exceptional time for all of us, especially for children who face an enormous disruption to their lives. Children are likely to be experiencing worry and anxiety and fear. And this can include the types of fear that are very similar to those experienced by adults, such as a fear of dying, a fear of their relatives dying, or a fear of what it means to receive medical treatment. Now, being at home and closing schools as part of necessary measures, children may no longer have that sense of structure and stimulation that is provided by that environment. And now they have less opportunity to be with their friends and get that social support that is essential for good mental well-being. Although all children are perceptive to change, young children may find the changes that have taken place difficult to understand, and both young and older children may express irritability and anger. Children, however, may find that they want to be closer to their parents, make more demands on them, and in turn, some parents or caregivers may be under undue pressure themselves. So it leaves a lot of pressure on parents and stress how to manage this situation by themselves first before they are helping their children. So how we can cope as a person and as a parent with the stress of changes resulting from COVID-19 and lockdown. As I said before, to help your children cope with this stress, you have to take care of your mental health first. Remember the plane example. These recommendations can help. Keep updated about what is happening with the outbreak from credible media outlets, local public health authorities, and updates from public health websites. Minimize exposure to media outlets or social media that might promote fear or panic. Seek support and continued connections from friends and family by talking to them on the telephone, texting, or communicating through email or social media. As a person, it's very important for us to create distractions. When we are under chronically difficult conditions, it's very helpful to divide the problem into two categories: things I can do something about, and then things I can do nothing about. As a CBT practitioner, we very emphasize on people that they have to differentiate or to learn how to distinguish between things that they can control or things that they can do something about. Therefore, they can change it. And then things that they can do nothing about, so they have to learn how to cope with it or how to accept it as it is. There is a lot that falls under this second category right now, and that's okay. But one thing that helps us to deal with that is creating distractions for ourselves. Recognize that feelings such as loneliness, boredom, fear of contracting disease, anxiety, stress, and panic are normal reactions to a stressful situation, such as a disease outbreak. Even if your family is isolated or quarantined, realize this will be temporary. Keep your family's schedule consistent when it comes to bedtimes, meals, and exercise. This will decrease your stress, how to manage them throughout the day. Make time to do things at home that have made you and your family feel better in other stressful situations, such as engaging in fun and meaningful activities. Help your children when they participate in distance learning opportunities that are offered by their schools. This will give you a sense of satisfaction that you are giving and providing for your children something that is useful. And it's very important to remember, meanwhile doing all that, to focus on yourself as well, the same way that you focus on your children. Have you been wanting to learn how to do something new? Start a new book or spend time practicing a musical instrument? Now is the time to do that. Focusing on yourself and finding ways to use your newfound time is a productive way to look after your mental health. So try to, devote a me time for yourself. Modify your daily activities to meet the current reality of the situation and focus on what you can accomplish. Shift expectations and priorities to focus more on what gives you meaning, purpose, or fulfillment. Give yourself small breaks from the stress of the situation. Attempt to control self-defeating statements and replace them with more helpful thoughts, because we have to, especially in this stressful period, to monitor our way of thinking, because a lot of stress coming from negative thinking, and being aware of our negative thinking is one way or one step to try to confront this negative thinking and replace them with more positive approaches or more positive evidences or way to deal with this negative thinking by changing them to positive thinking and giving evidences that, this will be temporary and we are going through this. Because, the nature of the negative thinking or feelings are that they eventually fade away. But the thing is that when we are having these negative thinking and feelings, we feel like they will last forever, and that make more pressure to us. When we remember that this is temporary and it will eventually go, it will help us be more present and more acceptable to this negative thinking, and we're looking at them as they are, natural feeling that we have in this period. Remember, you are a role model for your children. How you handle this stressful situation can affect how your children manage their worries. If your family has experienced a serious illness, find ways to support each other, including reach out to your friends and family, talking to them about how to manage this time together. Seek religious, spiritual help or professional counseling for support. This may be available online or by telephone during an outbreak. As I mentioned, you have to learn how to feel your feelings. Missing out events with friends, hobbies, or sports matches is incredibly disappointing. The best way to deal with this disappointment is to let yourself feel it. When it comes to having a painful feeling, the only way out is through. Go ahead and be sad. And if you can let yourself be sad, you will start to feel better faster. As I said, the nature of the negative feelings that they eventually fade away. It's like the camping fire. When you are throwing more woods to them, it will flame more. But when you are letting it be, it will fade by itself. And that's the same. So it's very important that you practice presence of this feeling. So when you are accepting having this feeling, they will fade by themselves. In order to help you do that, I have one way to help you to do that by practicing mindfulness. I did an effort to do mindfulness sessions to handle these negative feelings throughout this outbreak. So I conducted some sessions, mindfulness sessions, and I'm sharing it with you. after the end of the presentation, I will do copy and paste in the chat. So you can log in to the channel, mindfulness and relaxation sessions, and attend these sessions to help you practice mindfulness, which will make you feel your feelings and feel better. Okay, how you talk to your children about COVID-19. There are no right or wrong ways to talk with children about such health emergencies. Here are some helpful suggestions. Create an open and supportive environment where children know that they can ask questions. At the same time, it's best not to force children to talk about things unless and until they are ready. Answer questions honestly. Children will eventually know if you are making things up. It may affect their ability to trust you or your reassurances in the future. Use words and concepts children can understand. Gear your explanations to the child's age, language, and developmental level. Help children find accurate and up-to-date information. Print out fact sheets from WHO and minimize their exposure to the, to the media that promote fear and anxiety, or, gossips. Be prepared to repeat information and explanations several times. Some information may be hard to accept or understand. Asking the same question over and over may also be a way for a child to ask for reassurance. Acknowledge and validate the child's thoughts, feelings, and reactions. Let them know that you think their questions and concerns are important and appropriate. Remember that children tend to personalize situations. For example, they may worry about their own safety and the safety of immediate family members. They may also worry about friends or relatives who travel or who live far away. Be reassuring, but don't make unrealistic promises. It's fine to let children know that they are safe in their house, but you can't promise that there will be no cases of coronavirus in your state or community. Let children know that there are lots of people helping the people affected by the coronavirus outbreak. It's a good opportunity to show children that when something scary or bad happens, there are people to help. Children learn from watching their parents. They will be very interested in how you respond to news about the coronavirus outbreak. They also learn from listening to your conversations with other adults. Don't let children watch too much TV with frightening images. The repetition of such scenes can be disturbing and confusing. Children who have experienced serious illness or losses in the past are particularly vulnerable to prolonged or intense reactions to graphic news reports or images of illness. These children may need extra support and attention. Children who are preoccupied with questions or concerns about corona outbreak should be evaluated by a trained and qualified mental health professional. Other signs that a child may need additional help include ongoing sleep disturbances, intrusive thoughts or worries, recurring fears about illness or death, reluctance to leave parents. If such behaviors persist, ask the pediatrician, family physician, or school counselor to help arrange an appropriate referral. Okay, so how we can help our children cope? Your children may respond differently to an outbreak depending on their age. Below are some reactions according to age group and the best ways you can respond. So the children in preschool, the predictable reactions for them is fear of being alone, bad dreams, loss of bladder bowel control, constipation, bedwetting, change in appetite, increased temper tantrums, whining and clinging behaviors. What you can do is patience and tolerance, provide reassurance, encourage expression by play, storytelling, allow short-term changes, sleep arrangement, Maintain regular family routines, avoid media exposure. For children in school age, age between 6 to 12, the predictable reactions from them, the predicted reactions from them, irritability, whining, aggressive behavior, clinging, nightmares, sleep, appetite disturbance, physical symptoms such as headaches, stomachaches, withdrawal from peers, loss of interest, competition for parents' attention, forgetfulness about course, and new information learned at school. So what we have to do is be patient, tolerant, and reassure, play sessions and staying in touch with friends, regular exercise, engage in educational activities, practice structured activity like home course, set gentle but firm limits, discuss the current outbreak and encourage questions, encourage expression about the coronavirus and elaborate in this conversation, help family create ideas about how to enhance the health promotion behavior, and try to, as much as you can, to maintain the family routines, limit the media exposure, address any stigma or discrimination occurring, and clarify misinformation. For adolescents, which is in the ages between 13 to 18, the predicted reactions will be physical symptoms like headaches, rashes, etc. Sleep, appetite disturbance, agitation or decrease in energy, apathy, ignoring health promotion behaviors, isolating from peers and loved ones, concerns about stigma and injustices, avoiding or cutting school altogether. How to help them? By the same, by showing patience, tolerance, and reassurance. Encourage continuation of the routines that they get used to, encourage discussion and sharing their experience with peers, but do not force. Stay in touch with the friends and family, participate the family course, support their younger siblings, encourage them to help you taking care of the younger siblings, and give them strategies to enhance their promotion, their health promotion behaviors, limit the media exposure, discuss and address any stigma or prejudice and potential injustice occurring during the outbreak. Again, we have to emphasize that these reactions are predicted, but in case that they were very severe and intense, or that they persist for a long time, you might need a professional help. So our final messages to carers of children: help children find positive ways to express feelings such as fear and sadness. Every child has his or her own way of expressing emotions. Sometimes engaging in a creative activity such as playing or drawing can facilitate this process. Children feel relieved if they can express and communicate their feelings in a safe and supportive environment. Maintain familiar routines in daily life as much as possible, because as we said, children are very sensitive to the change. Or create new routines, especially if the children must stay at home. Provide engaging age-appropriate activities for children, including activities for their learning. Where possible, encourage children to continue to play and socialize with others, even if only within the family, when advised to restrict social contact. During times of stress and crisis, it is common for children to seek more attachment and be more demanding on parents. Discuss the COVID-19 with your children in an honest way and age-appropriate way. If your children have concerns, addressing them together may ease their anxiety. Children will observe adults' behaviors and emotions for cues on how to manage their own emotions during difficult times to make sure to take care of your mental well-being first. As we say again, remember the plain example. By that, I finished. Thank you very much for your listening, and I'm welcoming any question that you have. Thank you very much.
Ms. Raja, thank you very much for the detailed explanation. Your presentation has covered almost all the points which is required for this situation, right from the problems and to the solutions you have covered to take care of yourself first. So, and that was the first point you started. It was really with a great example with the plane and with the plane passenger example. Keep yourself away from the social media, which is wherever you get an inappropriate or unauthenticated informations. Keep yourself engaged in the fun-filled activities at home. So that actually keeps you energetic, wherein you can remove all the negative thoughts. For parents, you are the role models to teach your children on how to handle this stress situation. So it is very important for the parents to understand, to react and behave with the children properly. That is what Ms. Raja is exactly pointing out to. Regarding with the COVID-19, it's all about parenting, what she has told about. All the concepts which is there for a great to adopt the parenting concept. So this is what she means, to adopt all the parenting concept, and this is the right time to practice yourself and be honest with your children, and whatever questions they raise, be patient and be honest. Do not allow your children especially to see this horror videos which creates a lot of anxiety and which enthusiasm them into hyper tension and all.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you very much for all your participation. Before I present a formal vote of thanks, I would like to present a virtual certificate of appreciation to our guest speakers, and later on we'll deliver, one of our volunteers will deliver to your doorstep, sir. First of all, Ms. Raja Abdullah, please accept certificate of appreciation from our side. Madam Raja, sister, you are very helpful, and many things we came to know today. We learned so many things from your presentation, and we hope to see, and it's very inspiring, and we hope to see in future that, we may need your assistance. Maybe personally, some of our, parents or students need psychological counseling. We may disturb you again. And thank you very much for accepting and coming to give a presentation.